Thanks everyone for supporting the channel, and thanks to those friends who supported the channel financially. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Of course, it wasn't Christine's fiancé who would save her. It was Black Scythe. And the reason Ryu hadn't revealed who would save her was that if he mentioned that the Black Scythe would save her, it would undoubtedly make her fiancé jealous. Therefore, it was best to hide it for now so as not to ruin the relationship between Heavenly Demon and Black Scythe. Because once a knot was severed, it was difficult to tie it again. Then Ryu said to himself, to use Heavenly Demon, it's better to maintain a good relationship as much as possible. After that, Ryu crafted magic stones. Then some message system appeared. Created a low-grade green mana stone. Combination successful. Hermes' feather adds the option, Agility +4. And Ryu said to himself, I've infused low-grade mana stones into all my gear, and moving up from the low-grade tier. The next step was the intermediate. The fusion process remained consistent, simply combining two low-grade stones. Even though there's only one low-grade mana stone left for each color, it's still beneficial to have them, as labeling them as low-grade didn't render them useless. As long as you have a lot of magic stones, you can upgrade them to intermediate or advanced level by combining them as many times as you like. Then Ryu said, in just a few days, Player Place will throw open its doors. As anticipated, a lot of people will flock in, offering a variety of fusion materials, including magic stones. This presented an opportunity to sweep up the magic stones en masse, facilitating their progression into high-grade and perhaps even the esteemed top-grade magic stones. And with a smile, Ryu added, I must secure the essential ingredients for crafting unique items tailored to my needs. In fact, the avenue to obtain unique items was diverse, such as killing boss-level monsters or receiving quest rewards. And among the options, fusion remains the most straightforward, and having the fusion formula firmly engraved into his memory, Ryu faced no complexity in executing it. However, the conundrum lies in the availability of raw materials. But upon the impending debut of Player Place, this predicament was set to find a resolution. Notably, Heavenly Demon had delegated responsibility for garnering users to an advertising agency. Then Ryu said, they claim to have secretly paid journalists to generate articles, but where are they? And he entered Player Place into his internet search bar, and an array of articles promptly manifested. The first player market, launching on June 11th. A market will be created for players. The world's first social market is scheduled to open. Unwanted items can be directly listed and traded. Player Place's grand opening is imminent. Then Ryu smiled and said, now there is one last place left to promote the opening. After that, Ra was dressed for going out, and after going to a place without CCTV, he put on the feather bristles and cast the skill, invisibility. At that moment, Ryu's form seamlessly melded into the surroundings, vanishing instantaneously, and he veiled in disguise, made his way to the one-room apartment once occupied by Lost Yak. Inside, the setup included video chat equipment, and there was no need for him to be discreet, making it his regular Sunday haunt. Then he put on the assassin's mask and transform. His appearance underwent a mesmerizing shift, and he turned into a flawless replica of Lost Yak, right down to the pale complexion, rendering his previous form unrecognizable. Then he logged into the chat room, where they convened their regular meetings, but it appeared he was early, as no one else had arrived yet. They seemed to be running a tad late. During the slightly tedious wait, Yamti logged in, and Ryu said, welcome, Yamti. Yamti was surprised and said, Lost Yak, you're here early, huh? Ryu said I didn't have much else to do, and his voice and even his manner of speaking mirrored Lost Yak's, an uncanny resemblance. And Ryu said to himself, I've already deciphered the tone, Lost Yak. Yamti will never notice a thing. After that, the chairman has entered the chat room. Yamti said, oh, Chairman, you're here? Ryu also said, hello, Chairman. Chairman said, greetings, everyone. Even as the chairman responded, he wore a bittersweet smile on his face, considering there were only 2 executives left. Then he said, let's kick off the meeting. We had decided to choose our executives last time, right? Lost Yak? Ryu replied, yes. The chairman asked, did we come across any promising candidates among the applicants? Ryu replied, currently we've shortlisted 30 candidates, ranked by their level and the zone they excel in. The chairman said, no Black Scythe members among them, I hope. Ryu said, you're correct. If there were, I would have reported it immediately. Chairman inquired, what about other named members? Ryu replied, there aren't any. I checked, but none of the applicants used the nicknames Heavenly Demon or Idiot Fools. Chairman said, well, in that case, we'll have to pick executives from those 30 candidates. Then he added, Yamti, you'll be conducting the interviews. Select 5 executives from those who passed the assassination test. She said, certainly, Chairman. The chairman said, now, on to the next agenda. There's a member of the National Assembly who's been criticizing players recently. Ryu said, oh, I've seen that news. It's Lee Seong-hyun, the National Assembly member, right? The chairman added, we'll have to discuss what to do with him when we finalize the executives. He's a legal professional trying to wield the law against our players. Ryu chuckled, but didn't let it show outwardly and said to himself, even though he's not a player himself, he speaks as if he were one. After that, the meeting proceeded, and once all the necessary matters were resolved, Ryu seized the opportunity to suggest indirectly and asked, have any of you seen the news? The chairman inquired. What news? Ryu replied, there's news about a player-exclusive market opening up. It's set to launch next week. The chairman said, oh, I've heard about that. I checked out the temporary website that's already open, and it seems promising, Yamti said with excitement. Really? When it launches, I plan to list some items. I have a lot of useless stuff in my inventory. Ryu also said I should do that too. While Ryu, Min, and Yamti spoke with excitement, the only one who didn't respond was the chairman, the sole non-player among them. Then Ryu glanced at him and said, Chairman, I have a great idea. He inquired, what is it, Lost Yak? Ryu suggested, how about actively encouraging players to use the player's place, the open market, as an announcement? The chairman asked, why would we do that? Ryu replied, you might not know, but the number of cafe members has been dwindling lately. We have over 10,000 members, but the rate of new posts is low. In times like these, if we inform them about the existence of an open market where they can trade items, the chairman continued Ryu's words by saying, it could breathe new life into the cafe. Ryu smiled and said, exactly as expected of our chairman. Always on point. The chairman, who then pondered the proposal seriously, said, well, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. So, let's go with Lost Yak's suggestion. Ryu said, thank you, Chairman. At that moment, a subtle smile crept onto the corner of Ryu's lips and said to himself, as desired, Player Haven Cafe is now involved in promoting the site. The next day, in the Heavenly Demon Company's meeting room, Ryu, dressed in a sharp suit, gazed at his monitor during the opening ceremony. By his side, Heavenly Demon couldn't help but mutter, what do you think, Prophet? The opening is almost here. Do you think people will flock to it? Ryu replied, well, it's hard to say. We'll have to see the results. Heavenly Demon's eyes widened at Ryu's uncertain response and said, no, Prophet, we've prepared a lavish feast for this occasion, and now you say that? Ryu explained, details about the future can change at any moment. The overarching success of the company remains unchanged. Hearing that, Heavenly Demon sighed in relief and said, ah, right. I panicked for a moment. As they conversed, other shareholders began to enter the room. Following Heavenly Demon, the next most significant shareholders took their seats, and a formal exchange of greetings ensued. In fact, they all felt a bit uneasy about this venture since it had been approved with some reluctance during the previous shareholders' meeting. As Ryu Min looked at them, he could read some of their thoughts. One said to himself, they even changed the company name for no apparent reason. Another also said, let's see how well it does. Then Kim, a manager known for his skills during the Cheonma consulting era, was in charge, said the official opening of the Player's Place website will commence shortly. I want to thank all of you for being here and provide a brief explanation of the site's opening process. The 5 minutes of explanation passed quickly, and it was time to start. Kim announced, now we have only 10 seconds left until the opening. 9 seconds, 8 seconds, and with bated breath, they all counted down together. Each had a different expression, but they shared the same hope for success. Then, Kim continued saying, the opening has begun, and if you look at the traffic and the number of users on the monitor, you can get an idea of the trend. But suddenly, Kim paused, leaving everyone in suspense. He stammered, wait, this... At that moment, no one could find words as they watched the traffic numbers skyrocket. Only Kim managed to speak, his words filled with joy. It's a huge success. The traffic is skyrocketing, and the unspoken truth was evident. The numbers were rising rapidly, changing by the thousands in the blink of an eye. In less than 5 minutes, the site's visitors had exceeded 50,000. Then Heavenly Demon, his excitement showing, looked at Ryu and said, "Mr. Ryu Min, this is a huge success." Ryu said, "That's right." Despite his calm tone, Ryu was genuinely surprised. Although he had witnessed several opening ceremonies, this explosive increase in traffic was unprecedented. As the traffic soared past 200,000, the shareholders couldn't help but smile. It was the first time they had seen shareholders smile since attending the opening ceremony, and they said, "Congratulations, sir. It seems even better than during the Cheonma consulting days." Heavenly Demon smiled and said, "Thank you, but we still need to keep an eye on it." As shareholders praised Heavenly Demon, their attention turned to Ryu, and they said, "Congratulations. You've made a big hit, just as you said during the shareholders meeting. Now all that's left is for the company to continue to thrive." As shareholders complimented him, Ryu smiled warmly and said, "Thank you for trusting and following along." Kim's voice interrupted the moment. Already, over 1,000 people have applied to register their items for sale, and as registration requests poured in, the office staff became busy, and item sales posts flooded in, accompanied by comments, ratings, purchase requests, and even money transfers. The once quiet site was now bustling like a lively market. Then one said, "Mr. Ryu Min, with this kind of start, we might be able to go public on the Kospi within 6 months." Ryu inquired, "Can you tell that just from the first day's performance?" He replied, "Of course. A skilled person can tell from the start. It's like recognizing a tree by its first leaves." Chairman, as you said, this is a huge success. As shareholders praised him, Ryu's smile deepened. But Ryu couldn't help but notice the subtle twitch at the corner of Heavenly Demon's mouth. Although he tried to maintain his composure, his expression revealed the joy he couldn't suppress. Ryu said to himself, perhaps, if there was no one else here, he would have burst into laughter. Turning his gaze back to the monitor, Ryu thought. The reason he had initially created the social market was to make item supply more accessible. As the site flourished, it would also contribute to Ryu's growth. And in the process, a rising stock price is just a bonus, and as expected, it was garnering tremendous popularity. Ryu couldn't help but feel satisfied that his proposed business idea was performing so well. But suddenly, Ryu spoke prophetically, "Mr. Ma, something interesting will happen soon."